At the first signs of weakness, many men think about hormones, age, or stress, but few suspect the frequency with which they are ejaculating. When this rhythm exceeds what the body can sustain, something silent begins to happen. Strength fades, vitality disappears, and performance no longer follows desire. The problem is not the act itself, but the way it's being carried out. I'm Dr. Elena Moretti, urologist, and what you'll understand in this video may explain why your energy is being drained. Without warning, even when your health seems fine on the surface, there's an ideal point between excess and deprivation, and when that point is ignored, the impact goes far beyond what most imagine. Before we continue, check if you're already subscribed to the channel. This space is dedicated to men's sexual health, with clarity, science, and respect. And take a moment to engage. If you feel like your energy is strong, type solid in the comments. But if you suspect that something is quietly draining your strength, type weak. This helps us understand how you're feeling and strengthens the content we build for you. Long before labs, MRIs, or clinical trials existed, many cultures had already noticed something curious. Excessive ejaculation weakens the body. That wasn't a myth. It was observed, felt, lived. In traditional Chinese medicine, this fluid was called jing, your vital essence. According to ancient wisdom, wasting it without need would drain a man's energy. It was like using up the fuel that keeps the fire burning. And when that energy runs out, fatigue sets in, motivation fades, and even the sparkle in the eyes can disappear. In India, through Ayurveda, semen production was considered such a complex internal process that wasting it carelessly was seen as a serious mistake. In some African traditions and pre-battle rituals, men were instructed to refrain from ejaculation before ceremonies or conflicts. They believed that preserving semen meant preserving strength. And not by chance, many of these practices have endured through the centuries. These cultures knew, even without understanding biochemistry, that there was a connection between uncontrolled ejaculation and a loss of vitality. Today, science is beginning to confirm parts of this, but much of what was said thousands of years ago still holds true, especially for those who feel their energy fading and don't know why. In 2016, a study from Harvard University caught worldwide attention. According to the research, men who ejaculated at least 21 times a month had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer, somewhere between 20% and 31% less. For many, this sounded like scientific permission to maintain a very high frequency. But as a doctor, I must say, we need to look at this data carefully. The study was observational, meaning it found a correlation, not a cause. Also, the participants reported their own habits, which already limits the accuracy. Another point is that most participants were from the same profile, white men with specific lifestyles, excluding a large part of the population, including black men, who statistically have a higher risk of developing aggressive prostate cancer. Still, the study raised an interesting hypothesis. Could ejaculating with some regularity help keep the prostate cleaner? Maybe. The release of fluid may help eliminate built-up inflammatory substances, reduce internal pressure in the gland, and stimulate cellular renewal. But to say, the more the better, is still a premature idea. Science is only beginning to understand the deeper mechanisms. The prostate is a small gland, but it plays an essential role. It produces part of the fluid that makes up semen, which is rich in zinc, enzymes, and citrate, elements that protect and nourish sperm cells. This fluid travels through tiny ducts inside the prostate, and when ejaculation occurs, those secretions are emptied. What many men don't realize is that if ejaculation becomes too rare, that fluid can remain stored for too long. This prolonged accumulation promotes the stagnation of waste and inflammatory proteins, which over time may increase the risk of cellular alterations. That's why some researchers support the ductal cleansing theory. By ejaculating with balanced frequency, the body prevents these substances from building up for weeks or even months. The process also stimulates muscle contractions in the pelvic region and improves local circulation, which helps keep the prostate active and functional. But keep in mind, this doesn't mean men should force themselves to maintain a high frequency. The ideal is to keep a rhythm that respects the body, without excess or long periods of stagnation. Each person's body gives its own signals, and that's where our attention should be. If you feel your energy no longer matches your desire, and your body doesn't respond as it used to, it may be time to take a deeper look. In my digital book, Rediscovering Intimacy, Healthy Sexuality, After 60, I've gathered practical guidance for men who seek more vitality, balance, and conscious pleasure. You'll learn how to adjust your habits, reignite desire, and strengthen your relationship in a clear and effective way. The link is in the pinned comment. Make sure to check it out. Some believe that the more a man ejaculates, the better it is for his health. But that's not always the case. When the body is well-fed, well-rested, and hormonally balanced, it can recover more easily after releasing energy. But in older men, with lower testosterone levels, irregular sleep, accumulated stress, and poor nutrition, too much stimulation can become a real problem. Each ejaculation demands metabolic energy, involves muscular contractions, hormone release, and a chain of reactions that affect the entire body. When it happens too often and without enough recovery time, what should renew ends up wearing you down. Persistent fatigue, low motivation, and even a drop in natural desire can be signs that your energy is being drained, slowly and silently. This kind of exhaustion doesn't show up overnight. It builds up quietly. And since society has normalized the idea that a real man must always be ready, many keep pushing their bodies without recognizing the signs. The ideal frequency isn't what the world demands, but what your own body can sustain without losing vitality. That's what must be respected. The relationship between ejaculation and hormones is more complex than most imagine. Each release triggers substances like prolactin, oxytocin, and dopamine, all of which impact mood, motivation, and libido. But the biggest impact lies in the hormones tied to male vitality, especially testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, also known as DHT. In small amounts, these hormones help maintain desire, physical strength, muscle mass, and proper prostate function. However, when the body enters a constant cycle of stimulation, without time to recover, hormone fluctuations become excessive. Testosterone may drop temporarily after ejaculation, and over time, repeated drops without proper recovery can affect your sense of energy and vigor. As for DHT, which plays an important role in prostate health, too much of it may promote abnormal cell growth. That's why some studies suggest that long periods without ejaculation can also trigger hormonal spikes that aren't ideal either. So, the issue isn't about excess or total abstinence. It's about finding a frequency that respects your body's natural hormonal rhythm. When it comes to men's intimate health, there's no one-size-fits-all formula. Some men feel great ejaculating 3 or 4 times a week. Others report more energy when they slow it down. What truly matters is observing how your body responds, not following rigid rules or comparing yourself to others. Ancient wisdom from Eastern traditions recommends different intervals based on age. Younger men recover more quickly and can handle a higher frequency. But after age 50, metabolism changes. Keeping the same habits as before may lead to signs of fatigue. That doesn't mean you need total abstinence. It simply means paying closer attention to your own rhythm. The best frequency is the one that doesn't leave you drained, doesn't lower your energy the next day, and doesn't affect your mood or mental clarity. When ejaculation happens with intention, not as an automatic outlet for stress or boredom, the body responds better. Paying attention to your energy level afterward can reveal more than any chart or rule. The real secret isn't in quantity, it's in awareness. Not every man wants or is able to reduce his frequency, and that's perfectly fine. The key is knowing how to preserve energy even when the rhythm is higher. The first step is recovery. The body needs proper nutrients to replace what's used. Zinc, selenium, magnesium, and B-complex vitamins are essential for hormonal balance, prostate health, and natural testosterone production. Another often overlooked yet powerful strategy is pelvic floor training. Strengthening this group of muscles improves control, reduces discomfort, and increases circulation in the intimate area. It also activates nerves and blood vessels that support a stronger and more consistent performance. Breathing is another important ally. Breathing slowly and deeply before and after stimulation helps prevent premature exhaustion and protects the nervous system. Those who learn to control their breathing also learn to regulate their own pace. And in the end, it's not just about the body, it's about intention. When ejaculation happens with purpose, not as a form of escape, the response is different. Vitality is preserved through conscious choices, not guilt or repression. You can experience pleasure and still protect your energy, as long as you respect your own limits. After everything we've covered, it's clear that ejaculation frequency has more influence than many think. And yes, it might be silently draining your strength. If you've been feeling more tired than usual or less motivated, the issue could be how your body is being pushed without enough recovery time. Science is beginning to confirm what many traditions understood centuries ago. Male energy must be managed with intelligence. And have you noticed how your energy shifts depending on your frequency? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insight enriches this conversation. If this video gave you clarity, hit the like button. That simple gesture tells YouTube this topic matters and helps more men find information that truly impacts their sexual health and quality of life. And don't stop here. On this channel, you'll find other videos that dive deeper into topics like desire, vitality, and performance, all with technical guidance, respect, and straight talk. Watch them and keep building your strength with awareness. If you're not subscribed yet, take a second to do that now. I'll see you in the next video. Until then.